Hi everyone, it's Kazma Quasi channel. Welcome back to another video on my channel. Today I'll be doing the play ratings for a win against Adelaide. Now, if you're new to the channel and watching this for the first time, welcome. How I do this is simple. I give a player out of 10 who I think that and how they play their role. You guys can comment and we can adjust that if we need to. And if they're a medical sub and they got injured like halfway through the second quarter, I'm a bit lenient on that type of scenarios. Like, I don't go out all guns blazing on that because it's not fair play. Got injured, you can't really help injuries. But if a medical sub hasn't played, I don't give him nothing because it's harder to judge on that. Depends on situations of the games. You can't always get a fair crack. So, as I did my review, I put my hoodie on because now it's all of a sudden starting to get a bit chilly. I did the 8.5 out of 10 as well. That will be posted up on YouTube as much as anything. Can't really bloody see because of as much as anything, but so I'll go through our defense as much as anything. So Rufford, Maynard and Noble. Look, I think Rufford played, did a reasonable good job. He's the one that I can say that have his head up hell high. I think realistically, Rufford, he gives it 100%. He really does. And to realistically say that he gives it his all every week, times that he does get beaten, I thought he did a good job on Taylor Walker, 2 goals 6, and that really shows on why we're that impressive when it comes to stopping Taylor Walker. Got a lot of respect for him, and sometimes he can be, people seem like he's a bit, what do you call it, that word that I tend to look for, a bit of a flog. That's what some people would say about him. But other than that, you can't knock him off his football ability. He turned it around this year. 2 goals 6. Could have dominated and would have been a probably different story. But I'd say for Rufford, I'll give him an 8. Simple as that. I thought he did his job. It's harder to play well against her, when the ball goes in quick. First quarter really shows on how dominant we were as much as anything. Maynard, he gives it his all. He's a fighter. For me, Maynard's got to be the top of player that you have in the team. I'm going to give him a 9. Basically because if I come out of that, the reason I give Maynard a 9 because he does stuff that's so underrated. Like, he gets back, he gets a fist to the ball, gets a hand to the ball, he affects the spoil, he affects the marking contest, and for that you have to give that as an underrated stat. And he sets it up. The back half, he's running top play. He gets the ball moving forward. That was a positive sign that he can do that. At times he can, his man did kick a goal when it wasn't his fault. Other than that, I think he played a really good game. I thought he showed us the reason why we need him. As much as anything. John Noble is another one that came through our mid-season draft back in 2019. I'm going to give him a 9. I think he's improving. He's someone, for me, improves every game. He tries hard every game. Props for him to do that. But you always got to think on how he plays. You got to give him a lot more credit for that. Crainer, Moore and Murphy. Now Murphy played up forward, but got him down in defence. So I think he's the type of player that when he plays forward, did some nice stuff as well. Went back, doesn't get a lot of the ball, but I don't think that's his role. I think his role is to compete and put pressure on that forward line, and then go back and get some possessions and do like a defensive job in our forward line, and even on the opposition's dangerous forward. You like to say. I'm going to give him a 7.5 out of 10. I thought that was a really good game in the way he played his role. Not as bad as what we need to see, but having said that, I like him. I do. Darcy Moore, 9.5. That's a really good game from him. You can't doubt that. He's a player that can do well, perform. Why not when you're in that good form? Crainer, I'm going to give him an 8.5. I thought he played a really good game. Tries his heart out, does the right thing, and you can put him anywhere and he still do a good job. So he's the one that I do love. If I have to have a number on my Guernsey, it's either him or Maynard, to be honest. Now at midfield, Hoskin, Elliott, Sarbon, Poulter with Cripps, Dacos and Lynch. Now Poulter played a really good game, really did. Shows something when he's on. Kicked the goal as well. As I said, like when you're having like 20 disposals and you're kicking a goal, and playing as that, that we can play him on the wing like a Dacos and play him in midfield. I think it's good to try that. He's going to be a 7-8 year player for us, hopefully, if not 10 years. Got a fair few footy ahead of him, that's for sure, but played really well. I'm going to give him a 9. Simple as that. He's a type of player, as much as like he can hack kick at times, I just feel that he's the type of player that he can run, and he's young. Kicked the goal against Port Adelaide as well on top of that. But he's the type of player that you don't often see from a player like him that, he's young, he's getting better. Playing the kids like him and giving him a shot, I think that shows you something as much as anything with that, and it does work. So at bottom, I'm going to give him a 7.5 out of 10. I thought the way he competed, I think we saw him in the centre bounces as well and playing up forward. He gets the ball, dishes out. He's got another 2 years left, I think, in my opinion. And that's just my opinion. And look, I'm going to get knocked for it, for saying that. But I'm just being real honest. That's how I think. That's how I feel that will happen, in my opinion. And Hoskin Elliott played a really decent game. A few score involvements as well. Set up a goal. I think it was like 5 or 6 score involvements. So it does sets up when he does get the ball cross half forward as well. Back to his best. I'm going to give him an 8.5 out of 10. Played really good game. That's my reason behind it. Jack Rips, I'm going to give him a 9.5 out of 10. I thought he shows on why we don't need him off the halfback flank. We can stick him in midfield and he'll get his 30 touches. As much as anything. Dacos, another one. 9 out of 10. Shows something. Kick the goal. Play him all you like. Great player. Future leader of the club, you would think. But does a good job when it comes down to it. Now, Max Lynch, I thought he held his own. Not bad. Second game in. I'm going to give him a 7. 18 hit outs as well. Not bad. Hopefully he plays next week. I was a bit, critical of that. Look, second game, first game for the year. Sort of think that he was going to play more games this year. Play a couple games. I think now, get him to play one more game, see how he goes on that. But it looks like he's going to be good for us next week. We got Melbourne, so that might be interesting. Whether or not we play him or we play Cox. Lynch is more of a ruck forward than a forward ruck. So I think we might have to have a look at that. Other than that, I thought that was a really good job that he's done. Played a reasonable good game as well. Obviously, Callum Brown was a medical sub, so got that one right. Not to bust my bubble a little bit. Pendlebury, Cameron, and Bianca, DeGoey, Mychek, and Elliott. Pendlebury, 7.5 out of 10. Thought he played really well. Got what we wanted out of that. Successfully, went into a few centre bounces as well on top of that, and really showed on why we're that good form. Cameron, I thought competed hard, 7.5 out of 10 again. And Bianco, I thought he was really good as well. On top of that, I'm going to give him an 8.5 out of 10. Kicked the goal, really showed on why we're that impressive in that team, especially the way that we go about it as much as anything. DeGoey played bits of midfield and forward as well. Again, that's not something that I'm not going to oversleep on that one too much. I'm going to give him an 8.5, basically because of that. He gets the ball and he can break tackles as well. He's that Dustin Martin type that I think in the future as well. But again, on top of that, my check, 7.5 out of 10. It's clearly obvious to me as well on why. And Jamie Elliott, 10 out of 10. 6 straight, 6 goal involvements, 14 disposals. Made a couple mistakes, but I'm not as critical on that. Look, his first game back. That just shows that because he hasn't played for so long, did a really good job, I think. On top of that, great future, and I thought played really good game, because first game's always good to play, but the second game backs are the ones that are harder, because now that you got that fitness in, there's no VFL. Unfortunately, that's been put on hold. Other than that, as much as anything. Now we go to an interchange. Josh Thomas kicked the goal. With Josh Thomas, I think he's coming back from an injury. I think he deserves an 8. That's all as I'm going to give it. But I'm going to leave it at that. I'll let you guys go through and I can adjust it if I need to. Callum Brown, I'm going to give him an 8.5 out of 10. Thought performed really well. It's very interesting indeed as well. On top of that, shows the reason why he can be that impressive. Jack Madgen, I'm going to give him a 7.5 out of 10. I thought that was a really good effort by the boys. That's his role. Now, playing up forward, he is a defender, not a forward. But then again, you know, I'm only on the outside looking in. It's just my opinion. Doesn't always mean I'm always right. I can be wrong sometimes with that opinions. But that's my strong opinion with that as well as possible. And Joe Rantel. Really showed a bit. 7.5, basically. And it's not always about possessions. It's all about what he does. Like, if he puts pressure on, if he gets a ball and absolutely, you know, looks up and can kick it forward, as long as he's playing his role for the team, coming on the bench and either pushing up in midfield or pushing up in the forward line, I think I can be happy with that as much as anything. Who else can I say? Now, Brayden Size started on the ground. I'm going to give him a pass mark as a 5, only because he got injured and he had to come off. So it is hard. Oh, why did I give Callum Brown more? Because Callum Brown did more for what he needed to. A pass mark, it's not his fault. He got injured. Brayden Size did some good things as well on top of that. The injury affects him a little bit. But, you know what, injuries are part of the game. I'm not going to be critical of that. So, you know, I'm not over critical of that move as much as anything. Look, that's the end of my play ratings videos. Like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, do you know more about what's happening in the VFL? And I'll certainly find out from social media anyway, and keep you guys updated as well. But look, great win by the boys. Showed some heart out there. Showed the reason why we can perform well. Mid-season review coming up shortly. And like, comment, subscribe. Check out these videos. Let me know what you think in the comments below as usual. Till next time, go the Pies.